Yo, what's going on, nerds? R2 here. I'm here to talk about movie number 19 and 18, or 18 and 19 if you want to get technical, of the new Imprint range from Viavision Australia, which is, I'm sure you know by now, the boutique Blu-ray label here in Australia. This is part of the Essential Film Noir Collection 1. I just want to make sure I got that correct. This From this box set here, it came with 4 movies in it. So I've only watched the first 2 so far. The first one being Framed. Now, this is a 1080p presentation of the film, and it looked glorious. Looked really good. Looked fantastic. Come from 1947. It was made in 1947. And it's funny, like, when I was a kid, I thought film noir just meant any black and white movie, which, in a way, I guess is correct, but... but this didn't really film noir-y to me. Like, it didn't have that film noir. See, I associate, it may not be correct, but I associate film noir as a, detective versus mobsters versus, or sort of like a whodunit murder mystery type thing, but with set in the 40s and, early 40s to very early 50s, so that sort of stuff. I know that's not technically correct, but that's just how I have the image in my mind. But this was still pretty good. Essentially, this guy on the front they're trying to frame him for, well, not so much frame. They're just trying to, they're trying to murder him in a way and pretend that he's somebody else that dies so that these other 2 people can get some embezzled money. So they're trying to use him as the corpse, essentially. He figures it out. He's a bit sort of smarter than the average bear, and he figures it out. And then I guess somebody else gets framed for the murder, but and then it all works out in the end, as it usually does. But it was pretty good. I didn't mind it. I can't really think of anything negative to say about it. It sounded and looked great. So it doesn't go for too long, an hour 20. So yeah, good film. Not too bad. Glenn Ford is in it, if you haven't realised by now. But not as noir-y as I thought it was going to be. Set in a sort of like a mining town. There are some scenes that certainly at night time, like early morning, like 3 a.m. in the morning, that have that film noir sort of feel to it. But aside from that, it wasn't really, I don't know, just didn't have that noir feeling for me, but I'm sure it falls under the category. The next one is Ray Milland in Alias Nick Beal. Now, I fucking love this one. This was really good. At first, my arm is getting so tired. At first I thought, this is a horror movie or something. It had a little bit of a horror feel to it, also a supernaturally feel to it when you sort of click in your mind of what's going on. But this guy, Nick Beal, he just sort of pops up out of nowhere. The movie starts as sort of like a political thriller or a political drama, sort of court case sort of drama, and I follow this guy. He's like the DA, and then he sort of or something like that, and then he's solves this case that he's been trying to solve for ages, but he's got some evidence that somehow it gets destroyed. So this guy's going to walk free that he's been trying to convict for the longest time. And then this guy rocks up, Nick Beal just rocks up out of nowhere, and he has that evidence that was supposedly destroyed. And then the judge or the DA or whatever, he's like, "Oh, I can't take it because it would be a illegal thing to do. It's not the right thing to do." But Nick Beal's like, "What's it gonna hurt? Come on," he's tempting him to use this evidence, and he does, and he puts this guy away. And then the guy who the DA ends up running for governor, and Nick Beal gives him all these advice and helps him do all these, helps him to get there, and with some criminal ways and all this sort of stuff. And then slowly but surely, the DA, who's an awesomely good guy, is becoming more and more corrupt. But the funny thing is, or the crazy thing is, this Nick Beal character, nobody knows who he is. He just keeps popping up in and out of nowhere. He always seems to know everything and know how things are going to play out. He's very devilish. But it was awesome. It was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie, and this felt more noir-y to me, if that's even a word. But this was great, man. This went for an hour 30, and for me, just flew by. Again, it's a 1080p presentation of film. Looked awesome. It looked really, really good. Performance-wise, everybody was fantastic. I can't speak highly enough about this movie. I really liked it. From 1949, so I'm guessing it was set, set when it was filmed. It was set in 1949. Fuck, I can't speak. But definitely watch this one. I really like this one. I'm gonna watch this one. I'll definitely watch again because I'm sure there's just a little. Now that I've watched it, I can really just sort of analyze it in a way and like focus on little things, bits and pieces, because of the way they make these movies. I'm so fascinated on how they make these films, or how these films are made in this era. It's so fascinating to me. So that's the perfect word. It's very fascinating to me. So definitely the better of the first two so far. That's not to say that. That's not to say that Framed wasn't good. It just was a bit. I don't know. It just didn't wow me. Certainly like Alias Nick Beal did. But yeah, certainly worth a watch, both of them. Yeah, I'd recommend this one. It's still a good movie, but definitely please watch Alias Nick Beal. What a great movie. So I've got the next two to watch next, and then finally, one more, and then the next wave's coming in like fucking 2 weeks. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned for the next one.